Aloha. Hi, sweethearts. This is my very first Dear Spirit letter, and I'm really excited about it, and it's called Boundaries and Vulnerability. So my dear friend wrote me this letter, and I'm not going to tell you her name, of course, because this is private, but I love this letter because it's something that happens for all of us. So here we go. Here's her letter. My dear Donna, I've noticed a pattern in myself and several of my friends that I'd like your thoughts about. I've been doing very well lately with my own boundaries and with my negotiations. But I do have this one particular friend right now who's very confused and stuck. And I just don't know how. I don't have the ability to explain it to her. So we have this idea, most humans, that if we're fair and generous and kind, that this behavior will lead to other people responding to us with fairness and with kindness and generosity. But what sometimes happens instead is that we get treated like a doormat, I guess. And we end up feeling drained emotionally, exhausted, feeling used. So I'd like to hear your thoughts about how we could deal with this. I want your thoughts and your ideas and your resources that you might have about how to determine how much to give and how much to save myself. So, how do we use the law of attraction without being codependent? And it's signed with much love. So I wrote back to her, and of course I can't refrain from adding a few extra sentences, but this is the basic idea. Hi, sweetheart. When we were raising the children, we had a motto written on the living room wall. We did. It was all the way across one of the beams close to the ceiling on the living room wall. And it said, nobody is a turkey for the fun of it. And for us, that meant that if someone is being obnoxious in front of you, then there can probably be only one of two reasons. The first would be that they're in more pain than you are. And they're wanting to step in front of you in hopes that you will be able to love them through that phase of their healing. And I love being able to do that for people. And so I always take it as a compliment, knowing they perceive my strength and my wisdom. And then the second reason would be that they are psychically picking up that we have an old wound that we share. Maybe not between each other, but we've each gone through the same kind of trauma. And that old wound matches the other person. Vibrationally, you match. And so your souls have agreed to play out this drama so that you can see the contrast, so that you can see your own belief that blocks the flow of love in you. And either way, you are two souls loving and honoring each other. So if the first reason applies, that this person is trying to ask for my help, my love, my attention, then I try to resort to what I call the vulnerability of loving honesty. So I'll say what that means. We'll start with, if it feels good when they want your energy, please give it to them. If I'm being given the opportunity to just let extraordinary love flow through me to this person, wow, then I just enjoy the waves of love pouring through me. But if it's beginning to drain me, then I try to remember to be vulnerable and honest. And I try to remember to say something like, I really wish that I had more energy to give you right now, because I can see that you are truly pushing through this old belief that has been blocking you, blocking your joy, blocking your power. And I'm so excited that you're doing this work. It takes courage. And right now, I have to say that I'm in a place where I'm losing my energy just listening to this. So I'm just going to love you from afar. You know, if the person is my soul friend who intuitively, and we're all so psychic, if he or she is intuitively picking up that we have similar issues, just begging to be healed, then I will say something like, right now, I'm not being able to stay in my joy, in my power. And I suspect, I know, that we're both doing the best we can. And I'm hoping that there is some old, unhealed pain in me that is being activated by your pain. Isn't it amazing that we're both working on the same issues? And I would really love to explore this together when I'm capable. They don't always like that answer, but it is probably the kindest thing that you can do. Luckily, I understand. I know that the universe doesn't waste time and motion and energy. In other words, nothing happens to me by accident. Nobody shows up on my path randomly. So if they are in front of me, there's something that they reflect in me. Or maybe I can give them something because I've already been through it. I know what's going on. And you know, I just bless them and I go inside myself to see what the gift is. Why is the universe bothering to put this right in front of me? And so if I can help them, I do. But if I can't, if it isn't my issue, then I just feel great compassion. And I can hold them if I'm not hooked. Or I can leave them to do their lesson with someone more appropriate because they match that lesson. But if they're hooking me, if they're irritating me, then I know that they are reflecting back a belief that I have that hasn't yet healed. For example, if someone is being mean-spirited or judgmental, I could either react and use that person to explore my own childhood belief that I don't deserve to be respected or loved. Or I could say, wow, This person must have had a truly awful childhood. Aren't they brave for trying to get this to the surface? In other words, my response always depends on my relationship to their issue. For example, if I've come to peace with my own, let's say, victim beliefs, then how can I get hooked? Because there's nothing wrong. And I can remember the intensity of that feeling when I believed that I didn't have any control over my own safety. Now that I've allowed that belief to upgrade, to integrate in me, there's no problem. I can be delighted to help the person remember that they are in charge of their own sovereignty. But, as I said, if there's any part of me that still believes my own victimhood, then I'll resist. I'll judge. I will do anything I can to get so far away as possible, so that I don't get pulled down into my own hopelessness, my own despair. Therefore, the minute that I feel resistance in me, I stop everything. And I mean, really stop. And just allow myself to explore where I match that person. Once I know that it is my unloved victim, or my unloved anger, or my unloved sense of unworthiness, then the healing of both of us can begin. You know, I've often said to people that who once really annoyed me, thank you for coming into my path and showing me my own beliefs. What a blessing you are, Spirit.